Hi, this is Nancy from Life's Blessings, and as promised, we're going to talk about the dietary changes that you can make to eliminate estrogen dominance, to bring your estrogen down to where it should be. So we've been talking a lot about hormonal imbalance, specifically estrogen dominance. On our health and wellness segment, we normally do that on Wednesdays, but as many of you know or have realized by now, last couple weeks schedule kind of went out the window, and we're not really going to stick to a schedule anymore. I've got too much going on to be sticking to a schedule, so I'm sorry. I know that I tried to stick to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday schedule, but now you have been forewarned. We are not using the schedule anymore. I hope that you find this video, if you were one of the ones that asked me for this information, I do hope that you found it, and let's get started. So about 2.5 years ago, I embarked on a journey to eliminate estrogen dominance, and that's because I was suffering tremendously, and I knew that I had to do something, and of course I wanted to lose weight. I still want to lose weight, but at the same time, my main goal was to eliminate estrogen dominance. And if I lost some weight along the way, then that was wonderful. And I did. I lost about 18 pounds through my journey. Woohoo! And I have kept it off. And what I did 2.5 years ago was the paleo diet. Now, I say I did it 2.5 years ago because I'm not currently on the paleo diet. But I started it as an elimination diet. And I really wanted to stick to it, and it was really, really hard to stick to it, though, because it was so restrictive. And I know a lot of you can. A lot of you, and I could too. If I really, really stuck my mind to it, I guess I could too. But I'm stubborn, and so sometimes I like foods just for their flavor. That's been a journey for me, and I am still working on that. So y'all pray for me. I'll pray for you. Let's see, the paleo diet cuts out grains, it cuts out dairy and legumes, things like that. So it's basically an elimination diet such as Whole30. And Whole30 goes a step further, I believe. So, you might want to start with something like that. Whole30 is a little bit more extreme than paleo, but it's only for 30 days. So something like that, Whole30 or paleo, even if you just do paleo for 30 days to find out what is bothering you, what is messing up your system, okay? And, after that 30 days, you can slowly add those things back in one by one. You just add in one for about 2 or 3 weeks, and, if you do great with that, then proceed to add one more thing in that you couldn't have. And, wait 2 or 3 weeks just with those 2 things. If if it starts to bother you, then it was the second thing that you added in. You can just take it back out. And so there you go. Elimination diet. That's what I recommend at first. Now, from here on out, those foods that have bothered you, keep on eliminating them. For me, it was grains and legumes. So I do not consume grains or legumes anymore. And now I did slip up. It's been several months ago. I had a huge slip up. And I just started eating whatever I wanted. And I thought, well, I'm just going to try to keep the weight off, though, and, eat basically whatever types of foods I want and limit the calories. Or, if I want a treat, then I'm going to add in a treat. And then, a couple days later, then, I'll try to lower my calories again, take that pound off. Okay, well, that's playing. That is playing. That is yo-yo dieting, whatever you want to call it. We got to get serious about this. If you're having inflammation in your body, you can't play like that. And so I messed my body up really, really bad. My hormones went out of control one more time. So I had to get back on, a paleo-ish diet. Now, I don't cut out dairy anymore because dairy does not bother me so bad. Now, I limit my consumption of dairy because I realize that it could be causing inflammation that I am not aware of, because sometimes the symptoms do not present themselves in a way that, are very, very noticeable to us, but yet it is actually doing something inside your body, maybe something that we don't realize it's doing. So if that makes sense to anyone. Some of you are saying yes, yes, and some of you are saying this lady's crazy. I understand, that's fine. You don't know until you walked a mile in someone's shoes. So, yeah. With the dairy, I have added it back into my diet, but when possible, I am using the milk substitutes such as almond milk, cashew, and even for my coffee, I'm not putting dairy in there. I'm not drinking dairy, but I will have cheese every once in a while. And what I go for is the aged cheeses. So aged cheeses a lot of times are more tolerated than the fresh cheeses. So fresh cheeses being queso fresco and some of your mozzarella cheeses and things like that. And then your aged cheeses are the aged cheddar, the feta, and things of that nature. So aged cheeses work best for me. But in the beginning, I want you to cut all of those things out. No cheese, no dairy whatsoever, no grains, no legumes, until you figure out where your source of inflammation is coming from. And later on, we're going to do another video just, talking about why those foods, cause inflammation, what's going on there. And, we're going to get into the grains, we're going to get into the legumes and why they're not, not the best for you at times. Now, some people tolerate legumes, very well, and that's okay. If you do, then keep on eating. But some of us are having a real struggle. Now, as far as, whether you need to go low carb, no carb, or moderate, or high carb, that's something that you need to find out yourself, because everybody's chemical makeup is different. For me, I tried no carb, low carb. I even got on the keto diet for, about 6 months. I tried the keto diet. Made me sick. And, there are so many people that keto is working well for, and that's okay. That's great. I'm happy for you. And, I support, different ones from different dietary lifestyles, because I know that. I'm mature enough to know that, everybody has a different chemical makeup. So what's right for me isn't right for you necessarily. What's right for you isn't necessarily right for me. So that's okay. We can all support each other in this mission, on this journey, to find what is working for everyone. So there is no one diet fits all. That's not what I believe. Some people do believe that, and that's okay. You can believe that, and I'm just not going to be convinced. Some people, a raw diet works well. Some people are saying that the carnivore diet works well. For me, that's too many hormones going on. For me, it's too many hormones with the carnivore and, even the keto diet. That's just too much hormones going on for me. But if it's working for you, okay, that's great. I can understand the raw diet because that's mostly vegetables and nuts and things like that. That's basically what I'm doing. But I do cook, I do cook my vegetables. Now, some of the vegetables are better if eaten raw, and that's our responsibility to research that information and find out, because for some people they digest cooked vegetables better, some people digest the raw vegetables better, and we need to find out which way are we going to get our vitamins from each vegetable, because it's different for each vegetable. Okay, so we need to find that information out. Now, what I'm doing right now, like I say, it's more closely to the Primal Blueprint diet. You can look that up. Very similar to paleo, but you get to have dairy. Now, it's suggested that it's raw dairy. I don't necessarily go by that because, we don't have these big health food stores here, and nor do I see any cows that I could go get any milk from. So we're not, that was a joke. We're not doing that. Sticking to the raw dairy, but I am sticking to aged dairy for the most part. Now, as far as, what was I going to say? Oh, the carbs, the carbohydrate content. Low carb may work for you, moderate carb or high carb. You got to figure that out. You got to work with it. Low carb, no carb does not work for me. But high carb would not work for me either. I would be as big as my house if I ate like that. And so, yeah, there's something going on there. that obviously is not good for me. So moderate carb is where I am, about 100 to 150 carbs per day. So that is personally what I am doing, but I encourage you to play around at first, but once you figure it out, don't go back and try to mess it up because you're going to mess yourself up, okay? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that the ones that, wanted this video have found it. We're going to do another one specifically about how the grains and dairy and legumes work in your system, as well as another video about herbal teas and herbal supplements, because we did talk about vitamin supplements, but we have not talked about herbal. So we will do a separate video on that. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, God bless you. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm here to help. So leave your comments, about estrogen dominance or about any other, topic that you want to see covered in the health and wellness segment. I'd be glad to help you out. Have an awesome week.